Hi, ladies, and happy Wednesday. I am so glad to be here with you today from my home office as opposed to, I had a great time in India, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to be back in the routine. It's nice to be back to my usual foods. It's good to be with family and in my own bed with my own pillow. So, for any of you who travel a lot or even just a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. It's good to be home. So, and I'm happy to be here with you. And also back on my normal Facebook routine because I know it was I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I was doing things like in the middle of the night. So I'm glad to be back on a normal routine. So welcome back to me. Yay. Today's topic, I wanted to do a training because, I've heard a few comments from some of my clients lately or people that are talking about joining my programs that clean eating is just too hard, right? Like, I don't have the time for this. I already have a full-time job. I already have kids. Like, I have so many responsibilities. Who has time to be eating clean? So I wanted to do a training to go through some of the shifts that you need to make really to make a clean eating lifestyle just your new normal, right? And to make it easy and not a big deal. Just like when you start a new workout routine, it takes a little while to get used to, but then it's just like part of your life, right? So for me, I own two businesses, right? For those of you who don't know, I have a CFO consulting business and I have the health coaching business. So I have two businesses, two kids who are both youngest in school, a husband, and I don't live in an area where I have family. So it's like just us. So, and I travel, so things are busy, but when I decided that I wanted to be healthy and I wanted to fit in my jeans, I started a workout routine. And so now it's in my calendar. It happens, right? I go to Pilates certain nights of the week. I run certain mornings. I have yoga a certain day, and it just happens. And it's it's my pattern and routine. And what I wanted to talk with you all about is, how to make clean eating a lifestyle for you so that it's not a big deal. It's just like what you do, and you don't even have to think about it. And that's the thing. It takes a little while to get to that point, right? For me, some of you know my story where it took me a good 5 years to figure this out because I was doing it piecemeal, and two, I was doing it by myself at a time when this wasn't a thing, right? Clean eating wasn't a thing. And so, I didn't even know what to call the way I ate. I just knew that gluten made me feel like crap. I would get migraines. Then the dairy, I started to realize, oh, I guess that's like all the breakouts I'm having and all the bloating I'm having. Maybe I should cut out the dairy, which is hard, right? Because we have dairy everywhere. It's like everywhere you go. It's like, would you like cheese with that? Or there's milk in this protein. Like I was doing a protein powder for years that I didn't know. I guess it had whey protein, which I knew was milk, but I didn't know that that was my problem. So I was just hurting myself having this quote unquote healthy breakfast that was just messing me up inside. So, and then the sugar was definitely the last one for me. And that one was certainly the hardest because I think as Americans, a lot of us are addicted to sugar, whether we know it or not, because it's so pervasive. It's everywhere. And, it's part of our culture. It's part of our, like how we celebrate things, like you have a birthday party and you have a really sugary cake and you have ice cream and it's just all the stuff. Granted, nowadays there's a lot of ways that you can eat things that don't have sugar that still taste good, which is really nice because, again, when I was doing this on my own, there are a lot of recipe flops. Let me tell you, there are a lot of, because I like to bake, right? So I wanted to make things that tasted good, but I didn't have the basis for knowing how to do those things. So yeah, there are a lot of issues. So for any of you for whom this resonates, this is the topic today, is how to get past the hump of, clean eating is so hard. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I have some notes. I got to make sure. I chicken scratched my thoughts. So hopefully I can read them. So basically in order to make the change to clean eating, to make it your lifestyle change, you really need to make some shifts. And some of that is going to be in your head, right? So for example, the first shift that you really need to make is to give yourself some grace. And for those of you women who are in here, you are all high achievers. You're high achieving, successful women entrepreneurs. That's why you're in this group. And getting told that you need to give yourself some grace, give yourself, some slack, that's like the last thing you're used to hearing, right? It's all like, all right, give me my to-dos and where's my list and what do I need to do next? And I have like my priorities for the day, and it's like A1, A2, A3, B1, B, like, did anyone do Franklin Covey? Like, seriously. If you're like me, you come from a very structured, I came from a structured corporate background where it was like do, or you just hold yourself to a really, one, you hold yourself to a really high standard, but two, as a woman, we're pretty much expected to be perfect all the time anyway. Socially, that's like how things have happened. Because, well, that's another story, but we're used to being, told to do things rather than allow, right? So in this case, giving yourself some grace actually helps you in a few ways. One of the reasons it's hard to eat clean is, for some people, is because they don't have the brain space for it, right? Like they don't have the, bandwidth for it because they have so many other things going on. So my suggestion there is to have fewer things going on. And by that, I mean, give yourself a timeout, like give yourself some time to recuperate. If you were in any of my challenges, you heard me talk about a detox bath. Take a bath. I know, like who takes baths? Well, ladies, we do. We take baths. Once a week, take a nice bubble bath. Give yourself permission to have a timeout. I do mine after the kids go to bed and I tell my husband, bye, it's time for me to take a bath. See you later. Don't come in the bathroom. I'm locking the door. Like, just leave me alone. Put some nice music on, put some bubbles in there, or put on my meditation and just take deep breaths and enjoy soaking in the nice warm water. And I happen to put I put Epsom salts. You can put whatever you want in it, but for the detox bath, I put like Epsom salts, hydrogen peroxide, and there's one other thing that I put in there. I have a recipe. I know, it's ridiculous. I have to follow a recipe to take a bath, but hey, at least I take a bath. So when I remember, or do yoga, or give yourself permission to just take a time out, because then certain things won't, like life in general won't seem as stressful. This also kind of fits into the whole morning meditation routine. If you give yourself the time and space to set yourself up for the day, it makes your day go so much better. Your mind is clear, you're more focused, you're actually more efficient and effective, which means you don't have to spend as much time doing things because your brain is able to just process things faster. I know that when I was in a corporate office and we would use the caffeine high and then the sugar high and then the caffeine high again, like my body was always on this roller coaster, and my brain wasn't as efficient because I wasn't giving myself certainly wasn't giving myself enough sleep, but I also had all this stress that my body didn't know what to do with. I wasn't releasing the stress, so it just all built up, and I was basically medicating with caffeine and sugar to try to fix it. So give yourself a break. Okay, I put some other notes here for myself. Okay, high achievers, taking care of yourself. So not taking care of yourself has become the pattern and the routine, right? Especially for those of us, now some of you may be in corporate, but for those of us who are entrepreneurs, it's like, it's you, right? Your income, your reputation, it's all on you. What you're producing, it's all you. And so yes, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to achieve, but what did I say? Take care of yourself. So not taking care of yourself is your pattern, right? I mean, how many of you can relate to this? That not like put it in the notes. Like if you're watching this on the replay, put in the notes. Yes, this is my pattern and routine. I do not take care of myself. Also, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and put in the comments #replay. So I know that this was helpful to anybody. But yeah, not taking care of yourself is the pattern and the routine. And the thing is, as successful women, like we kill it in every area of our lives, but like this is the one area where we're letting ourselves down. And the thing that sucks about that is that then we don't give ourselves a break because we're hard on ourselves because we expect more from ourselves. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm killing it in my business or I'm killing it in X, Y, and Z, but like my health is suffering and I should be doing X or I should be doing Y, but I'm not. And so I'm either, some of us have the negative self-talk, like I'm lazy or I'm weak or whatever it is. Like we have this that's like giving ourselves a break, okay? Give yourself some grace. Sorry, I'm going to have a little bit of my white tea that I got from India. So just a little drink here. So you need to make, hi Teresa, good to see you. So you need to make your new pattern, your routine part of your day. Like your new pattern and routine has to be self-care. If you put yourself first. If you decide that having a time out for yourself, having your morning meditation is important, that will set you up to be able to even have the wavelength, even have the wavelength to think about clean eating, right? Because right now, so many of us are just like, go, 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 go. It's like, all right, I'm just running through Taco Bell or McDonald's or wherever you go, Chipotle. Ooh, high class Chipotle, like we're just running around. We don't think that we have time to actually, one, if you're not used to clean eating, it's like you don't already have a pattern of what you would normally eat and how you would set up your life to eat clean. And then so it's just like, it's kind of like if you don't prepare for something, it's not going to happen, right? So like, let's just say you have a report due or you have a program you're putting together. Like if you're not going to prepare for it, then it's not going to happen the way you want. So clean eating is the same thing. If you don't prepare for it, if you don't plan, if you don't have a new pattern and routine in your head, it's not going to happen. And that segues to my next shift. So the first shift was giving yourself some grace. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes to make sure I'm getting it right. The first shift is giving yourself some grace. The second shift is planning, having a plan of attack, right? So in my programs with the women that I work with, I have a transformational method that I use, and I'm kind of going to go through some of the steps of that with you, just so you understand, like, how is it that you would plan? Well, I mean, a lot of us know how to plan, right? We're highly successful women, like we understand the concept, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of, well, if I count calories and I have the macros and I work out like all the time, then that should do it. But again, there's a lot of misinformation. That's the old way of thinking. And the problem with that is that it gets us burnt out. It gets us frustrated. Like, who wants to sit and put their meals in a calorie counter like every day? I've done that. It's a pain in the ass. Like, I don't want to do it, right? So I'm telling you, learn from my mistakes. That is the old way of doing it. The new way is, the most important part of my method is self-care, because like I said, if you clear up your mental space, if you give yourself time to recuperate, you're clearing up mental space. And if you clear up the mental space, you are actually more available for making a change. Because a lot of us right now, we're just so overwhelmed and overwrought and just run down that we just, like, the thought of doing something new is like, how can I possibly fit that into my life, right? So, and again, I'm looking at my notes to make sure, taking time for you. So another part of that is getting a good night's sleep. Okay? I mean, and I could tell you and you've heard them already. You've heard all the studies about sleep, right? Like, people don't get enough sleep. It makes them cranky. It makes them less productive. And the other thing, though, is that by not getting enough sleep, you have two problems when it comes to clean eating. One is that you reach for foods mindlessly. And I can tell you from experience, like I said, when I was in the corporate job, the candy jar was there and we were just like shoveling it in like it was no more. I had a drawer. In addition to the candy jar that I put out for all the employees, like I had a drawer full of food, not like apples or, almonds, although I did have some almonds. There was like, do you guys know the peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's? Oh yeah, I had like and those didn't last very long. The peanut butter cups, I had like the sugary granola bars, like everything I had in there was sugary for the most part it was like sugar. Or chips, like, oh my God, Pringles, the barbecue flavor. Those come in a big thing, yeah, I could put those away easily. So yeah, the junk drawer, like the junk food drawer. And you'll just like, if you're sitting there and you're tired, and I don't mean you, but like in general, we just mindlessly reach for food when we are tired. That's just how it works. This is science, people. I am not making this up. No, I'm not quoting the exact study, but it's for real. So that's the first problem with not getting enough sleep, is that we mindlessly reach for food. The second is that you're less able when you go home at the end of the night and you're just like, what do I want to eat? Like, I don't have the brain space to think about food. I don't want to have to plan anything. I just want to shovel something in my mouth and go to bed, or shovel something in my mouth and watch TV. Like, that's just human nature, right? When you're tired, you really don't have the energy to think about it. So, sleep, getting at least 8 hours. I mean, give yourself the gift of sleep. If any of you have read, Arianna Huffington, she does a really good book about sleep, and she talks about how not having sleep really impacted her life, and there was like a huge like thing that happened that made her give her a wake up call. And for a lot of us, we need a wake up call, right? And I hope none of you get to the point where you have the wake up call, because the wake up call sucks. Like, you get to the point where your body just shuts down and it's like, hello, you weren't listening to all the signs that I was giving you. So we're going to do something drastic. Like, I had a friend who got kidney stones and was out of commission for a week because she wouldn't take care of herself. I personally was on the couch with migraines, literally on the weekends, the only time I got to see my kids, and I was just out. Like, I couldn't do anything for the whole day. I couldn't even drink water. Like, nothing would stay down. That's how awful, like, that's how much our bodies need to, like, of course I got warning signs. Of course my body was telling me, hey, maybe you should get sleep. Hey, maybe you should do some stress reducing activities like yoga or meditating, or hey, maybe you should learn how to eat properly. But no, did I listen? No. I had to wait till my body was like, bam, we're putting you out of commission. Now you have to listen. So please, ladies, for your sakes, don't let yourself get to that point, because your body's trying to tell you something. Some of us have autoimmune issues. Some of us are having IBS, leaky gut. Oh yeah. Again, I have also had leaky. Basically, it takes like a brick to hit me over the head for me to realize, hey, something's not right. Maybe I should handle it. Don't be me. Don't be me, ladies. I am here to help you not be me. But again, I didn't have anyone to help me walk through this, which brings me to the third shift. So the first shift was give yourself some grace. Second shift is have a plan. The third shift, and I think I talked about, well, the other parts of the plan, I didn't really go through. So taking care of you, getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, which if you are not so tired, you are more willing to like make yourself a salad or some nice soup that will, and actually if you make a soup one night, it usually lasts for several nights, especially if you double it. But anyway, that's getting into the too much of the how, which we could do on another chat. But so that, what did I say? It gets me into having someone standing by your side helping you through this, because doing it by yourself, as I can tell you from experience, is exhaustifying, which is my word. I don't think it's a real word, but I'm using it. Exhaustifying, trying to figure all this out on your own. Like, I can tell you, I went through all the Pinterest boards. I have like a million cookbooks. If I showed you, I'm in my office right now. And of course you can see all the books behind me, but up here is like a whole shelf of cookbooks. And that's just the cookbooks I don't really use. There's also a ton of cookbooks downstairs in the kitchen. So if there's research to be done, I've probably done it. But you know, if you don't, like, who has time for all that, right? So having someone to walk you through it who's already been through the process. I mean, obviously I do it, but it doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody that you know, like, and trust. It could be a friend who is holding you accountable. Like, basically having someone to help you through the process makes it doable, because we are humans. Yes, we are all human. And let's face it, most of us don't do things on our own that we don't want to do without being held accountable, right? Like, how many of us sign up for a gym membership in January, and if you don't have a gym buddy or you don't have someone expecting you to be there, are actually going as many times as we wanted to go? It's just life, right? Or it's like, I haven't done homeschooling, but I know that it's like for some of my friends who have done it, like, unless they're on their kids, it's like their kids aren't going to do it. Okay, piano. My kids have taken piano lessons. It was a struggle in the beginning getting them to do their practice, because they didn't want to practice. Like, I mean, yes, they wanted to be great piano players, but did they want to put in the work? No. So I had to sit there and make them do it. It's kind of like that, right? If we're really serious about getting our health act together, if we're really serious about getting our energy, our vitality, like waking up feeling great every day, because we can. I mean, I know from personal experience, and maybe this is for a lot of you as well, I would be waking up foggy headed every day. Like, my brain just wasn't working like it used to. I would have aches and pains. I was like, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm not that old. I mean, this was in my 30s, right? Like, just the icky feeling of like getting older, and like the inflammation and the bloaty tummy. And again, for me, the migraines. But whatever it is you're going through, that doesn't have to be that way. It's not a symptom of getting older. It's a symptom of how we're treating our bodies. So if you want to wake up every morning like, I feel amazing, because I feel amazing today, okay? I do. I'm not going to apologize for it, because I figured this out. And I want to help you figure it out. Again, I'm not saying you have to work with me. Obviously, there are plenty of people you can work with. There's also, like I said, you could use a friend as an accountability partner, but getting someone to help you through that process will absolutely make it easier and will make it actually stick. So, I didn't talk about the new way. Oh, well, sorry, I'm kind of jumping around because my notes are a jumble, but just to finish that thought about getting either a mentor or an accountability partner, like this is 2020. We do not have time to deal with this stuff anymore, ladies. You do not have time to feel like crap. You are a high achieving woman who has stuff to do in this world. You should have the energy and the vitality to do it. Like you should get up in the morning and be like, yes, let's get it done. Let's do this today. You shouldn't have to be worrying about whether you can fit into your clothes because you got this icky tummy thing. Should I eat lunch today because I don't know, I don't feel well, or like I don't know what they're gonna have. So there's so many things that are avoidable, essentially. Like we have created our own problems and we don't need to. So do 2020 differently. The other thing that I saw on my plan part was that the biggest question really about how to plan is to decide who's at the front of the line. Because we as women, we tend to put everyone else first, right? I mean, you've heard me say this before. Like our kids are first, our spouse is first, our job is first, like everything goes, like there's a checklist of things that we go through our head. Are we even on the checklist? If we're on the checklist, we're probably at the bottom. So when I talk about self-care, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about putting yourself first because I did a post earlier in the week about, I said something about an oxygen mask. You know how when you take a plane and they say, make sure you put on your oxygen mask first before helping others, because what happens if you don't put on your oxygen mask first? You pass out and you can't help anybody else. So for those of you who have your own businesses or you're, a boss in a corporate office, you can't be what you need to be to other people if you're not fully there for yourself, right? Like if you haven't filled up your cup, you can't give to others. So, I mean, there are lots of analogies I can use here, but you understand the point, right? You need to be able to feel great in your body. I mean, as women entrepreneurs, we have to show up for our businesses. And it's a lot easier to show up when you feel great. And I can tell you that from experience. So if you enjoyed the training, please put some comments in the comments. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you would like more of. If you're watching on the replay, put #replay. But thank you so much for joining me. Teresa, it was great to see you. And I hope you all have a fabulous Wednesday. Take care. Bye.